I win. I won. Now I get my van fix, right?
Holy shit. Diary of a Wimpy Kid The Long Haul is the first film in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid franchise that I can say with all my heart is in cinema. This movie genuinely ate my ass, and not in a good way. So take my hand, and let's go on an adventure to find out exactly why this movie is such shit. This is Diary of a Wimpy Kid The Long Haul. It's gonna be a long ass video too. They changed the music too? This film came out in 2017, but in all honesty, it shouldn't have ever been released in theaters. This is the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid film that actually feels like it's trying to suck the money from the audience. It doesn't feel like it tries. And in doing so, it just feels very, very embarrassing at times. Even though David Bowers, who directed Rodrick Rules and Dog Days, came back, the writers of those films didn't. And that's where this movie suffers the most. The writing. Alright Chads, first up we have the new cast. If you loved the old one, well then get f***ed because everyone's old and hot now. This film had a lot of controversy surrounding it because of the particular replacement of Rodrick. The reason being that people see Devin Bostic as a total stud and not Charlie Wright. And while I get that, that's maybe a tad superficial for me. I mean, if the dude can act, then the dude can act. Unfortunately, he can't.
Have fun at Player Expo Zooey Mama. What a dork. You're planning to go to your little nerd convention. I'm telling Mom.
No, what?
No, what?
And not just that, nobody in this movie can really act. It's likely the script and direction, but man, everyone feels like they're reading directly from a script and nothing really feels natural. In the good films, the original cast went out before filming even began to test the chemistry between them. They actually bonded as a family. Meanwhile, this new Heffley family feels like they all just met 5 minutes ago. And on this new cast, just like the other films, Greg Heffley has to carry the movie. He's the protagonist. Jason Drucker replaced Zachary Gordon here, and again, he doesn't do a good enough job here. And I've seen Bumblebee though. Drucker has gotten so much better since this movie. But yeah, this movie is this movie, and this movie sucks. Do you remember the charisma Gordon gave during every intro?
Okay, first of all, let me get something straight. This is a journal, not a diary. This just proves Mom doesn't understand anything about kids my age.
In The Long Haul, we get this.
Take Mom for example. She's always on me to do healthy things, like read books and play outside.
But anyway, this is about me.
Maybe things will be better one day.
Rip. And don't even get me started on Steve Zahn, man.
No. I gotta check the route.
We have GPS.
Perhaps a better way to look at it is that it's a chance to learn to excel at something.
What could I learn at school that I can't teach myself?
A lot of the fun that came from these movies was all thanks to the actors, it really was, and now that they're gone and have been replaced, we have to connect with the new actors. But the film already expects us to care. And I'm just like, I don't give a f about this dude. This is Rowley? Okay, I'll stop. So the characters feel like cliches, as if the writer just saw a summary of the character online and thought, okay, this is his personality. There's nothing deep about these characters, it's just Rodrick, the older brother, he has a van. Okay, then that's his personality.
If I go, will he give me money to fix my van?
Now I get my van fix, right?
Maybe Mom and Dad will even give me the money to get my van fixed.
I'd be able to buy 10 vans with that.
The dad doesn't really care about his kids too much, he's kind of disappointed in them. Let's ignore all of the character development of the previous films, showcasing that he cares, he's just overbearing, and make him a dad who just has to work all the time, work. The mom is naggy? Okay, let's make her nag the entire movie.
Hand over your devices. No Instagrammy, no Snappy Chat. Be more careful! You almost woke up Manny!
That's the characters. There's nothing there underneath, and that's really sad. I know a lot of you, including me, have been hung up on Rodrick. And yes, the new Rodrick is trash. Rodrick in this movie is f***ing dumb. Do you remember how snarky and witty the original Rodrick is? Written in a way to show that he's sneakily smart but masks a lot of it by acting clueless? How his main flaw is that he can be easily careless but can overcome that thanks to, again, his intelligence? Rodrick in this movie has a rock for a brain.
Sorry, things just snowballed on my end, That's not a problem, I can handle that. Okay.
Oh, that's not even the worst part, baby. Watch this.
Hand over your devices.
This is totally not cool.
Kids at school get way more screen time than I do.
You're the worst mom ever.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened to you, Rodrick? You used to be such a charming douche, and now you're only a douche.
No phone!
I want to post it online. It's hilarious.
Rodrick is a lot smarter than a lot of these situations, and Greg is too. See, Greg is supposed to be the smartest character in the entire series. He just, 1, has bad luck, and 2, doesn't always have the best intentions. In this film, Greg gets out of danger by running away instead of outsmarting it. And of course, we get to the parents. And the parents are weird. Do you remember Rowley's parents in the OG movies? Yeah, they're Greg's parents now.
Tell me what I want, what I really, really want. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Greg's parents are supposed to be the voice of reason, and they're always the ones that Greg should listen to and respect. A lot of the previous films' dilemmas occur because Greg goes against his parents and gets in trouble for it, because of course, the parents aren't f***ing crazy. Just kidding, they are, because instead of being good people doing their best at being parents, the dad is pretty much focused on work the entire trip, something that's never come up in previous films, and the mom is genuinely crazy. Susan Heffley doesn't care about her son. Now when Greg wants to go to the bathroom and pees in a bottle in the car, Susan freaks out at seeing her own son's piss and then makes fun of Greg.
The piggy's better potty trained than you, Greg.
Susan, the mom who sees her son in danger and f***ing laughs. She laughed! What the f***? This is the meat and potatoes of the issues I have with the film. The series operates heavily on situational comedy. The problem is that if we're stuck in a car for about a fifth of the runtime won't have much of anything except for funny banter, which leads into the main problem of the film. It just isn't funny. But anyway, let's get back to the story. The film even begins separating itself from the original series by having a new intro theme. Which essentially means they didn't want to tie this film into the original series, because, I mean, probably they wanted this film to be its own thing, but if you're starting from scratch, you can't expect the audience to care about the characters. They're essentially new characters. Now for comedy, sequences feel like they end too quickly and some linger too long. Like there's an entire subplot in this film about a baby pig. It grinds the film to a halt. You're supposed to feel emotionally attached to the pig. At a certain point in the movie, the Heffley family drops the pig off somewhere, as they can't take care of it, of course, and you're supposed to feel bad. And I think in total we see only like 3 minutes of this pig in the entire film. The film expects you to be attached to this pink hog. Like we see Manny crying. And I was thinking to myself as the film went on, am I supposed to feel bad? Is this the Rowley tells Greg off, Rodrick gets grounded moment? No, it's all about Susan Heffley. See, every Diary of a Wimpy Kid film focuses on a specific character from, the series. So the first film is about Rowley, the second film is about Rodrick, and the third film is about Frank, the dad. This film is about the mom, Susan. And here, the Heffley family, which snapped away Sweetie, rip Sweetie, you'll be missed, go on a road trip thanks to Susan Heffley, otherwise known as Psycho Mom. They're on a mission to meet Mima, who I think is Susan's mom or some shit, I don't care. Greg also wants to meet Ninja. Yeah, Ninja.
And anyone that ever uses the excuse it's just a game is a horrible human being and is lazy.
So he plans on ditching the trip when they get to Indiana. By the way, Greg wants to meet Faux Ninja because he's become a meme, but by having diapers stuck in his hands. And it's not even a funny meme. It's like 2008 memes. This film was written by boomers. Already we're skating on thin ice here because the appeal of the Wimpy Kid movies is that the events that transpire could happen to someone like you or me. But no, the parents here are doing just as much weird shit as the kids. And that's frustrating because if everyone's weird, then no one is. This new film has nothing to say, and it skews the characters to fit its narrative and it doesn't work. It could work if there was a reason Rodrick grew dumber, it would work if there was a reason for Susan to become a massive nag, but it doesn't exist. So if we're treating this film like its own thing, and forgetting the previous films, that means that these are the characters, but the characters themselves are written to be unlikable. I feel like the only thing that felt like OG Wimpy Kid was when Greg changed the GPS coordinates to go to a gaming convention. Because Greg Heffley's smart. Oh, and this scene was great too. And behold, the best scene in the entire film. Yep, those are probably the best scenes in the movie. That's it, 3 moments. But I digress. The characters are unlikable, right? Well, that's because the movie almost feels like a dark comedy at times. Things get so triggering and depressing that I kind of wanted to stop watching by the end. Shit just gets so much worse and worse, and I was like,
no more. No more.
The comedy in this film is also atrocious. Most of it devolves into gross equals funny. Lastly, Greg also encounters this dude with a beard and calls him Beardo, which I think is a joke, but I don't know because it's not funny. And this dude is a good antagonist that serves the film well. He's the catalyst that helps push the family together, similar to the first film, the second film, the third film, but it isn't enough. When the movie starts having emotional moments, they're too short, and the audience doesn't feel anything, mostly because we're shown things that make us care way too late.
This is our family history, you guys. This book dates all the way up to...
No! The movie never has moments where it feels like its characters grow and evolve. I love how the characters in the original trilogy slowly but surely change and grow. They still mostly maintain their personalities because these films are based on books in which the characters are static, but each film still gives a fulfilling journey. With this film, the execution of its theme is garbage. Its theme, I believe, is something along the lines of you can't force happiness, you can't just expect something out of someone without giving anything back in return. It's a communication, it's a dialogue. But this film lacked communication and dialogue. Out the window with dialogue that matters, we get quote-unquote funny moments. There is no character-driven sentimental climax. There's only surface-level brief talks. Instead of characters attempting to understand one another and learn from their mistakes, there's a massive set piece which adds nothing except, I guess, teamwork? The point of the film is that the family's supposed to grow and become more stable, but I never felt that happen. And considering this movie is the most hated Diary of a Wimpy Kid film by far, I think no one else did too. I think another reason this film falls flat on its face is because the film ends with nobody really losing anything. Everything ends perfectly. There's a pretty little bow that wraps everything up, and it's always a coincidence. It never feels natural. The pig is dropped off because of course the Heffleys can't take care of a pig? Guess what, bitch? Manny can f***ing speak Spanish, and he takes the pig home. I'm not f***ing joking. Manny is like 4. This is the movie. This is in the movie. It f***ing sucks ass. I f***ing hate it. Sorry. This film would have actually been a bit better if they never made it to Mima's house. There's something really special about making little moments that should mean nothing, special ones, like Greg and his dad eating pizza in a motel. Did they have a great time camping? No, it was ruined. But are they making the best of it? Yes. This movie is just too contrived. It's too formulaic. So many scenes in this movie would never happen in the original films because the original films actually tried to make its story fit in the real world. Nothing too insane. These are the stories of a middle schooler, for God's sake. This isn't meant to be Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. These are the stories of a kid like we were or are, doing his best to become popular and have fun and get girls. Instead, like I've been reiterating time and time again, this film gives us a Greg Heffley that's a fucking meme. It's not that the original films are better because, they're older and nostalgia, but they give Greg agency over the events in the film. This film feels really boring because it's event after event with no one in control over the events because everyone's a flat character. The weirdos that are following the Heffleys are way more active characters than the Heffleys themselves. What is this movie? In previous films, Greg digs his own hole and he has to get out of it. In this film, bad shit just happens to Greg, for the most part, okay? And without much connection to the events taking place in the film, we don't care about the events taking place, which leads us to not caring about this movie in general. This film f***ing sucks, guys. F*** this version of Rodrick, f*** this version of Susan, f*** this version of the Heffley family, f*** this movie, and f*** me for watching it. And that pretty much wraps up my journey throughout the entire Diary of Wimpy Kid franchise. You have the first one, which is a classic, and the second one, which is, I think, everybody's favorite, or at least most people's favorite. And then, Dog Days, which is, I think, very underappreciated and a good amount of people love. And then there's The Long Haul, which has, the shittiest Rotten Tomatoes score ever. And it's really depressing because the series still has potential, and it's not like, oh, only one set of actors can play these characters, but this reboot they tried to do is trash. But yeah, That was fun. Let me know in the comment section down below what you want me to do next, what you want me to talk about next, you know, what series is out there that not enough people cover, and I'll do my best to see if I'm interested in it, and maybe I will cover it. So thank you very much for coming to my slow descent to madness, and I hope you'll come back next time to this very table. There's a table right here, you just can't see it. Yeah.